SCP-31 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures SCP-31 is currently contained in the Ryogong Hotel located in the city of Pyongyang, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. As a nation it is located in is currently governed by an authoritarian regime with near complete control of the state and national media. The possibility of information regarding SCP-31 being released to the world at large is minimal. That said, the regime is also cooperating with the Foundation in order to maintain physical security of the site. Foundation personnel are instructed to comply with their directives, so long as they do not interfere with larger Foundation aims. The structure of the Ryogong Hotel serves to contain SCP-31 within the central spire. 3 secondary spires, located at 120-degree intervals from the central pyramid, house Type 9 Heaven's Blade restriction systems calibrated to focus a disruptive energy field towards the central spire. Although unable to prevent physical escape of SCP-31, the system serves to prevent SCP-31's psychic energies from escaping the structure and affecting off-site personnel. Reclamation efforts of the hotel are currently underway, with local government forces utilizing hazmat-suited personnel armed with flamethrowers and chemical sprayers to decontaminate areas affected by SCP-31. However, due to the slow pace of progress and SCP-31's defensive capabilities, reclamation efforts are drastically behind schedule. Personnel who become affected by SCP-31's psychic abilities are to be terminated immediately to prevent their biomatter from becoming incorporated into its physical matrix. Description: SCP-31 is an amorphous organism with a mass of over 7,500 kilograms that has infiltrated the ductwork and maintenance infrastructure of the building. Tendrils emerging from SCP-31's central mass have spread throughout the hotel's plumbing and ductwork to all 105 floors of the building. At its peak, over 75% of the hotel's 3,000 rooms were contaminated by SCP-31. Reclamation efforts have destroyed % of the initial infestation, but over rooms remain affected by SCP-31. SCP-31 tendrils terminate in a pod-like structure, sporocarp, consisting of an ovoid structure approximately 2 meters in length with a multiple cilia-like structures branching off the main body. On some occasions, subjects in the presence of an SCP-31 sporocarp will instead perceive it as an individual the subject had a close emotional connection to in the past. The SCP-31 sporocarp will metamorphose into the shape of a person perceived and attempt to persuade the subject to remain with them for an extended period of time. The SCP-31 sporocarp will next attempt to make physical contact with the targeted individual with their cilia-like structures. Digestive juices will be injected into the subject's body and their flesh will be consumed and incorporated into SCP-31's body mass. In the meantime, a secondary flagellum will engulf the subject's cranium and brain, replacing the blood vessels with its own tendrils, which will maintain life support of the affected brain by some yet undiscovered means. The tendrils will decerebrate the subject and transport the subject's cranium back through the building's ductwork where it is incorporated into the central mass. Footage taken through surveillance drones indicated there are currently 1,000 crania in the network of tendrils attached to SCP-31's central mass. By all indications, the brains contained within the area are still alive and may be conscious. History: SCP-31 was recovered on the 22nd of October 1948, following contradictory police records taken after a riot in the city of where several citizens had gathered around a refugee camp professing love and devotion to a cult-like leader, whom they referenced to as the Beloved. Once initial contact and assessment was made, the civilians were pacified through widespread distribution of inhaled tranquilizers and aerosolized amnestics. MTF PSI-7 was able to recover SCP-31's central mass and move it onto containment. In its initial form, SCP-31 consisted of a single amorphous entity, approximately 75 kilograms in weight, of vaguely humanoid shape. It had not yet manifested the ability to consume and incorporate human biomatter onto itself, or any other mind-affecting properties aside from inspiring unusual feelings of love and devotion. As of the 16th of November 1948, SCP-31 had been classified as safe and was in containment at site. Unfortunately, the Korean conflict, which began on the 25th of June 1950, resulted in the destruction of the Foundation containment site at Pyongyang and the loss of all anomalies contained within. By the end of the conflict in 1953, all other anomalies were accounted for, either recovered or confirmed destroyed, aside from SCP-31, which was presumed lost and in the wild. Foundation assets first became aware of the reemergence of SCP-31 in 1992, when construction on the Ryogong Hotel in Pyongyang suddenly halted. Personnel liaising with the local regime confirmed that an anomalous effect had resulted in the disappearance of numerous workers employed in the construction of the hotel, and a Foundation mobile task force was dispatched to investigate. All members of the NTF were subsequently lost in action, and the site was locked down and declared off limits. All work on the Ryugang Hotel has ceased over 16 years, aside from the installation of the Heaven's Blade restriction systems on the secondary spires. In 2008, increased infiltration of SCP-31 into the building's infrastructure resulted in the possibility of its discovery by outside persons. The local regime immediately ordered that the windows be installed on the structure to hide the existence of SCP-31 from others, resulting in the loss of more construction workers. Unfortunately, this was perceived as a resumption of construction on the building, resulting in expectations that the structure would actually be completed and open to the public in the future. Reclamation efforts commenced within the year, utilizing flame and solvent projecting equipment to destroy SCP-31 tendrils and sporocarps, with each team accompanied by a political officer assigned to terminate any personnel who become assimilated into SCP-31. As of this current date, reclamation efforts are still underway. Foundation personnel are continuing to liaise with the local regime and monitor their progress, which is slow but steady. Appendix 1. Excerpts from Ryza email server. From Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. To Records Office 2201. Subject: Incomplete Special Containment Procedures for SCP-31. Team, I have an issue that needs immediate clarification. I have the Ryugang Hotel as a location of a mind-affecting steal from the Proto-Afro-Asiatic culture group. As you can see, it's the same location as this brain-stealing flesh network. Are these two objects related at all? Is this hotel some kind of DPRK containment facility? If so, we should put that into the Object Special Containment Procedures file. Please reply at your earliest convenience. From Records Office 2201 to Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Response: Incomplete Special Containment Procedure file for SCP-31. Eleanor, as far as my team can figure, there doesn't appear to be a link between the two objects. In fact, I'm getting conflicting reports from the containment teams regarding whether or not either of these objects actually exists. The 1427 team is insisting the hotel is the site for the steal and no brain-eating flesh network there, and the DPRK government is part of the containment procedures. Then I have the team for SCP-31 insisting that the DPRK government's involvement is purely politically motivated, i.e., we don't want to get involved so long as they're taking care of it, and there's no such thing as a mind-affecting steal located within the building. Which is concerning, given that we've got two mind-affecting anomalies within the same space, and two teams with separate stories here. Possible Eastern Somorthus situation, maybe? Gwen. From Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: SCP-31 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was Incomplete Special Containment Procedures file for SCP-31. Okay, someone needs to get to the bottom of this. We can't have a useful database with such blatantly contradictory information. Make it your first priority to resolve this. From Records Office 2201 to Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: Eleanor, will do. Entered into the tracker as 000031F99ZX, with a sister ticket entered as 001-1427-F99ZX. Gwen. From Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: Team, can you get an update on this issue? From Records Office 2201 to Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: Eleanor, my apologies. I guess I wasn't clear that further updates wouldn't be sent out through the tracker system. We're gathering information and assessing the situation. We will keep you informed. Gwen. From Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: Team, it's been 3 days. Can I please get the requested update, or at least a deadline by which we'll have this issue resolved? From Records Office 2201 to Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: Eleanor, as I stated in the Tracker Update 22 on this ticket, we found that the problem is more complicated than we expected, requiring us to physically send the person from HQ over to Pyongyang to investigate. It's taken us some time to get through the North Korean red tape. Totalitarian governments, am I right? And to get the paperwork done to reassign Jenny's responsibilities while she's gone. Gwen. Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: What's the holdup? Team, it's been 2 weeks. Why has there been no update on this issue? This is a highly time-sensitive issue, and your lack of progress is extremely disappointing. We need to get this resolved before Maria has to step in. From Records Office 2201 to Ryza Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: Eleanor, I can assure you that as per your instructions, resolving this issue has been our top priority. We've been cross-referencing between the documentation, and the only discrepancy that appears to be the fact that there are discrepancies. As in, all the documentation for one project is initially consistent, and all the documentation for the second project is internally consistent. It is only when you put them together that things don't make sense. We've tried talking to the project leads of both teams, but neither of them seems to know the other exists. We tried having them look up the other team's SCP file in the system. They can read it just fine, but it doesn't make sense to them either. SCP-31 team has no record of 1427 on site, and vice versa. We thought there might be some kind of time-space parallel dimension thing going on, so we had a member of each team try to meet up at the same place at the Ryogong Hotel, outside the front entrance. They were not able to find each other, despite confirming that they were both in the same place at the same time, photographs with timestamps attached. We then had the two team members try to meet up at the location outside the hotel, and they were able to meet up just fine. When they tried to return to the hotel together, they lost track of each other and ended up not being able to find each other. We tried sending Jenny over to Pyongyang to investigate. That was a pain in the ass, given visa restrictions in North Korea. They weren't able to meet up with both teams simultaneously, but they were able to meet up with each other one-on-one. Both teams gave them a tour of their containment facility, and everything seemed to be in order. Team 31 showed them the reclaimed rooms and the cleanup teams, while Team 1427 showed them the location of the steel. Neither team was able to allow direct contact with the anomaly because of the containment procedures, but they were able to confirm its existence through remote cameras. The DPRK team for 31 had no idea of the existence of any DPRK assets being used to contain 1427 and vice versa. This might not be too surprising given information controls in that country. To make things even worse, Jenny got a call from Yoon Mi at the KR branch asking what the hell Raiza's staff member was doing in the city. She contacted them, and as far as KR is concerned, we do not and have not had any assets in the Ryogong Hotel. Jenny went so far as to ask Yoon Mi to take her to the hotel and show her around a bit, and when she got there, she couldn't find any trace of SCP-31, 1427, or the teams involved with either. So in conclusion, after 3 weeks of hard work, we can conclude from evidence the following must be true. 1. SCP-31 exists, and SCP-1427 does not. SCP-1427 exists, and SCP-31 does not. Both SCP-1427 and SCP-31 exist, and there is no anomaly at the Ryogong Hotel preventing either team from knowing about the other, proving that the other exists. Number 4. Neither SCP-31 or SCP-1427 exist, and there is an anomaly at the Ryogong Hotel creating the impression that it exists in the RISA Central staff, but the KR branch are not affected. 5. One or both of SCP-31 and SCP-1427 may or may not exist, and the KR branch are under a mind-affecting compulsion that they do not, or were under a compulsion that it does. 6. All or none or some of the above may be true simultaneously due to multi-worlds theory, parallel universes, or some other stuff that, well, who knows. Gwen. From RISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Subject: New directives. Hello, team. 1. Effective immediately, Guinevere Kirkpatrick has been relieved of her duties at the project lead at Records Office 2201. 2. All Records Office 2201 staff are to make the resolution of tickets 000-0031-F99ZX and 001-1427-F99ZX their top priority. No other work on any other project is to continue until this issue is resolved. I want hourly reports until this matter is concluded. From Director Maria Jones, Record Keeping and Information Security Administration. 2. All RISA Associate Directors. Subject: Redacted. A fond farewell and other updates. Good afternoon, RISA staff. Thank you again for all your hard work. Today's email will be a short one. 1. The 3.14 update of Scuttle has been updated to Snapshot 2207-D. Please remind your team leads to log into the test insurance to confirm proper functionality. Send any bug reports to Scuttle team as soon as possible. We know that this involves taking time off your day for additional tasks, but the sooner we complete this wide-scale stress test, the sooner we can roll out the new version and put some fears to rest. Number 2. I am saddened to announce that Eleanor has chosen to retire due to health concerns. This announcement came as a surprise to me as well. Due to the sudden nature of her health crisis, she was unable to say goodbye to us before being transferred to Redacted Hospital, where I understand she is convalescing nicely. Please expect a follow-up email with a link to a crowdfunding page for going away gift for her, as well as an address where you can send cards, gifts, and other well wishes. Until we can appoint a new AD to take over her projects, we will temporarily be splitting her teams up between several different existing ADs. Expect an announcement of a new table of organization by noon GMT. And 3. Please take a moment during your next weekly team meeting to go over Section 22B, reporting inconsistencies in documentation of your handbook with your staff, and make sure that everyone knows the proper procedures to follow if and when you end up with an information anomaly. Maria.